Hello, everyone. You're welcome to this program. This program is Our Community Lives. Our Community Lives is all about events, people, places, culture, and everything that is happening in our society. Today, the program promises to be interesting, and we are going to be starting today's program with a lovely talented, creative Australian. She's going to be telling us and showing us more of her talent. So please stay tuned and watch our next segment, which is Show Your Talent. Don't blink your eyes. Introduce yourself to the viewers.
My name is Mitzi and I live in Melbourne, and I teach and perform West African dance with my partner. My partner is Simon Lewis, and he's a drummer. He's learned many parts of West Africa. He's done lots of drumming there, and he plays for my dance classes and in performances.
So what got you into arts?
Well, I actually studied science, and I am a science teacher, but I've always been really drawn to dancing, and I did some dancing when I was young. And then while I was studying, I met a woman who was teaching African dance, and I really fell in love with it. And I thought, well, I'll keep doing this while I'm enjoying it, and 15 years later, I still love it. I really enjoy West African dance. It really makes me feel wonderful.
Why West African dance and drum?
Well, West African dance, it just seems so exciting, and it's full of life and full of energy and passion, and it's sort of about women being strong. It's not just about being pretty and all these sorts of things. It sort of embodies a different sort of feeling. And my group name is Wasawumba. And so we perform at festivals and all sorts of different events, sometimes private functions, and we have a student base as well, and our students perform at the end of every term, and we often have a band, and we have Wasawumba, and we have a big event at the end of each term.
Thank you. Viewers, in case you are just tuning in, this program is to educate, entertain. It's all about people, events, and places. And today, we are having a reality gist with Mitzi. We shall show you some of her theatrical spectacles. Don't blink your eyes. Wow, interesting. So you mean you put all this together with these people, you do all these dance steps and the theatrical spectacles. How do you get your inspiration?
Well, I've been learning for a long time. I've had many different teachers, and often I record on video things that I've learned, and then when it comes time to choreograph a piece, I take little bits from here, little bits from here, and sometimes there's some other sort of performance will inspire me, and I think, oh, that's a really nice way to maybe make the formations change or go from something slow into something fast, and then you develop a new feeling in the performance.
So how many ethnic groups do you have? And when you say West African dance, is it all about African people or
Good question.
what caliber of people?
Well, actually, because there are still not many West African people living in Australia, it's mostly Australian people who are dancing with me, and because we've been doing it for 10 years, it's been the people who are around us who've been getting involved. But having said that, we have a Filipino girl who's part of our group, we have an Indian girl, we have another woman who is half Chinese and half Egyptian, so it's a truly multicultural experience.
And how have you been able to support the community with your group?
Well, actually, I think it's an education for people about Africa, and often people end up travelling to West Africa to further their education about it and to further their learning. And through these sorts of experiences, they meet new people. And so partly it's about the community here in Melbourne. People are meeting each other and they're making friends, but it's also about making broader connections in Africa and all over the world, because I also have friends who have come to visit me from Japan and from America, and we know each other because we're all interested in African drumming and dancing. And even this woman who visited me, she didn't speak much English, but we still understand the language of the dance and the language of the drumming. So it's a beautiful thing.
And your recent project about Ebola to support Africa, you did organize a drum dancing and a spectacle to contribute to the awareness and support African people on Ebola. What brought that?
So we did a big fundraiser. So we did, it was like a drum and dance-a-thon. So people come along and they did some workshops in drum and dance, and they paid for those workshops, and that money went towards our fundraiser. And we also did an online fundraiser and a performance, and there were lots of people from the drum and dance community in Melbourne who contributed to that. It wasn't just us, but we ended up raising $8,000, and that money went to all of those countries affected by Ebola in West Africa.
In conclusion, how do you balance your work, family, and social commitments?
Well, the wonderful thing about African drumming and dancing is that you have your socialization plus your exercise plus you're making money all at the same time. So that's a really wonderful thing. And then often my children, my family can come along to classes and they can come along to performances as well. So I'm managing it okay at the moment, but everything will be easier once both of my children are in school and I've got a little bit more time.
So what is the name of this instrument called?
This is a kora, and it's a West African harp. It's got 21 strings, and my husband Simon Lewis, he plays this kora, and he went to Senegal recently and also to Mali to learn to play this beautiful instrument.
It will be interesting for your husband to play us something with this kora. Yeah, that would be good. And what is this?
This is called a djembe, and so it's made out of a piece of tree which has been carved and hollowed out in the middle.
Wow.
And this skin on the top is goat skin, so Simon puts the skins on these drums, Australian goats, because you can't bring African goat skin into Australia. And so and then he cords it up, and he also plays the djembe and he teaches the djembe.
Good. Can you just do something with this?
Okay, he's got three main sounds. The djembe is for the bass, tone and slap. But Simon is the expert in playing this instrument. So.
Thank you. Viewers, now we are going to show you some more of the talents with Simon playing the kora for us. Don't go away. Wow, this is interesting. Oh, that was a wonderful one, Simon.
Thank you very much, Adeniyi.
So, this is kora.
This is the kora. This is the African harp, West African harp.
Yes, and what is this made of, and what are the tunes? You know, actually, when I was hearing it from behind the scene, it seems as if you were just playing some Western instrument like the keyboard. But looking at it, it's locally built.
Yes, it's definitely been made in Africa. This is the calabash, or the gourd.
Wow.
I'm sure you know calabash.
Yeah.
And this is the cow skin.
Yeah.
It's been stretched over the calabash.
Yeah.
And these are the strings.
Wow.
Fishing line. And you can see this is a more contemporary or modern way of building the kora. Traditionally we use just the animal hide special straps to hold the string in place, but this is using the guitar machine heads makes it a lot easier to keep it in tune and to change tunings as well. So this neck has been made here, made in Australia and put into the African calabash.
Wow. In fact, you are a role model, you are a celebrity, and the whole world needs to know more about you, because you and your wife, Mitzi, and the kids, you are just wonderful. And what are all these instruments called, and what are they made of, and what do you do with all this here? I understand this is your workshop.
This is our workshop, and here we make drums and we repair drums, and reskin drums for people. Mostly we see we're working with djembes, which is the goblet-shaped drum, the Mandinka drum from West Africa.
Okay.
And we're also repairing dunduns, which are the stick drums that go with the percussion ensemble from West Africa. But also we do bongos and some bongos. We're just skinning for someone. We do bongos. We do congas, frame drums, all sorts of repairs, any sorts of drum. But mostly it's West African instruments, and we bring the instruments mostly from West Africa. We source them from other importers here in Australia, and then we skin them up using our own natural hide that comes from Australia. And we make beautiful instruments, and we've been doing this for maybe 20 years now.
Wow.
Yeah.
And do you think this is acceptable by the community? Because this program is all about our community. Do you think the Australians, the Western culture, accept all these instruments?
People love it.
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah. And not many people in Australia really are making these instruments and have the skills to make them. So, but I've been many times to West Africa, to Guinea and to Mali and Senegal, and I've sat with the drum makers and had lunch and dinner with the drum makers and watched them making instruments, and each time I come back I get some more information. But mostly, really, because when I started first playing the djembe, it was a new instrument to me, and I was quite old when I started playing djembe. I would have been maybe 26, whereas I started playing drums when I was 7 years old. But not this sort of drum, you know, snare drum, drum kit, orchestral percussion.
Like the one we have in the studio.
Yeah, exactly. But when I started playing African drums, it took me to Africa, and then of course the skin broke on my drum, so I had to find a way to repair it. So I just thought, oh, I'll do it myself, and had a friend who showed me how to do it, and then from there I just taught myself, and now we make drums. And I love making drums. I love working with the beautiful timbers and and making beautiful instruments that people can really appreciate.
So now, do you think you can give back to our community by training some people? If anybody wants to learn how to make drums, how to play drums, and how to dance, do you think you and your family can teach them? And how long does all this take?
Well, for us, and for me personally, this is music is a lifetime commitment. It's for all of my life. I will never stop making drums or playing drums because I love music. I love playing music with other people. In particular, I love music from Africa because of its strong rhythmical element, but also because of its strong community nature and its ability to bring many people together. Really, for many different reasons, but also for joy and connectivity. So this is what really draws me to this music, the vibrancy and the passion and the energy. I'm sure you would know and understand this.
Yes, thank you so much. So, viewers, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to get more skills, talents, just contact Mr. Simon and Mitzi. They are there to put you through.
Man, this is family house.
Yeah.
This is my boss, you know that?
Yeah.
That's my boss. So
Good to meet you.
nice to meet you too, bro.
Yeah.
And good luck for the, everything, and God bless us.
Amen. Thank you.
And then you come this way.
Oh, thanks.
So this is
Wow.
our studio.
Ah.
This is where as you can see, we make music,
Oh.
we rehearse, and we do some recording. With the drum set, we have the piano here over here,
Wow.
demonstrating the piano.
Wow.
We have the balafon and the kora, of course, which you've seen already.
Yeah. So you actually started with this?
Yeah,
By
well,
playing
that's
this?
right, with just the snare drum, in fact. Just snare drum playing in
Ah.
orchestra, and then, but I love playing drum kit. Oh, yeah.
Thank you so much. It's nice meeting you and your family. Amazing. Viewers, you're welcome back. In case you're just tuning in, this program is Our Community Lives. Our Community Lives is all about events, places, people, and culture, particularly things happening in and out of our communities. And today we have in our next segment, which is In the Globe, Sister Brigid Arthur. Stay tuned. Hello, viewers, ladies and gentlemen. You're welcome to the program. And today we have a special person on set. This is someone I've known for years, and she's been a wonderful woman, and she's been able to support a lot of migrants, asylum seekers, refugees, including myself as a migrant to this family. She has been of a massive support to me and my family. And I would like her to introduce herself.
Hello, Adeniyi. My name is Brigid Arthur, and I'm the coordinator of the Brigidine Asylum Seekers Project. That's a group that tries to support asylum seekers in different ways, and I've been doing this work for 15 years.
Okay, we'll come back to that. There is a news making headline within yesterday and today. On the 4th of June 2015, there was a pre-dawn baby deportation to Nauru. Do you have anything to say concerning this?
There were people taken back to both Nauru and Manus Island yesterday, and it was at 4 a.m. in the morning. They were picked up from Melbourne, from the Broadmeadows Immigration Detention Centre. One was a baby with parents, a Nepalese couple, and there were men also taken back to Manus Island. I think that this is dreadful, that we are taking people back to both of these places. They've been in Melbourne to get medical help, and it was certainly our hope that they would remain in Melbourne to have their applications for protection processed, and that they would be able to stay in Melbourne.
So it is very good to know this, that you are condemning and trying to criticize this. So who should be responsible for this blame, and what do you think the government of Australia should do about this?
It's not a big question to say who's responsible. The Minister of Immigration is responsible, has to accept ultimate responsibility, and presumably gave the directions for this to happen. In terms of what should be done about it, that fits into the much larger scenario of what should be done in terms of our overall direction and policies with regard to asylum seekers. And, you know, one could talk for an hour probably about that. I believe that just in the short term, nobody should be sent back to Nauru once they've come down here for medical reasons. The medical reasons are usually quite severe, and to be sent back to a tropical place where the facilities are not adequate and where presumably the people concerned still have some medical concerns is just, I think, outrageous. I of course think that we should not have offshore processing at all, and then this wouldn't be an issue. We're treating a very small number of people in a terrible way. There's absolutely no need to have places on Nauru and Manus Island for processing people because even if we wanted to keep them in detention, there are half-empty detention centres, or empty ones, here on the mainland. My preference, of course, and what I believe from a human rights point of view, is that all of these people should be in the community while their applications are processed. That happens to people who come by plane, by and large. There's no reason why these other applications of people who arrived initially by boat shouldn't be processed in the same way out in the community.
You mentioned babies. So it means babies are sent to Nauru. Is Nauru a hell? And why send an innocent baby to a place like that?
Well, that of course is an issue, and people get more concerned about a baby being sent to Nauru than anyone else. But from my point of view, while it is terrible to send babies and small children to Nauru, I don't want to differentiate too much between anybody being sent to Nauru. It's just as bad for a grown man or woman to be there, and probably worse in some ways because they know what's happening to them. They are very concerned about their family's welfare, and they go through mental torture. So it seems to me that it's probably not a good idea just to concentrate on babies and children. We should be talking about people being on Nauru and Manus Island.
And do you think the Prime Minister is addressing this issue positively?
The government, and indeed the last government, but this one even more cruelly, is pursuing a policy of, I think they would say deterrence, although I'm not sure at this stage who they're deterring. And that's deterring people from trying to arrive in Australia by boat. I would think at this stage that it could be more aptly coined a policy of punishment, because we're simply punishing the people who are still here. It's not going to deter anyone else because we've got other means of doing that, which are also, I think, to be criticised, and that's turning back boats and not accepting anybody from the region at all, even those who have been out on the sea, sending back people whom we've picked up out on the sea, you know. So they're things that we're doing still to make sure that nobody arrives. So in terms of the people who are here, we're simply punishing them, I think.
Make it loud, you heard the crew from the front. Always was, always will be Aboriginal land. No pride in genocide. No pride in genocide. No pride in genocide. No pride in genocide.
tell us what we are doing here today?
Because we are standing together as brothers and sisters, as First Nations people, against the closures of Aboriginal communities in WA and the threat of our culture being completely ruined. We are not going to stand for cultural genocide. We are of a culture of 60,000 years, and we will not let that end today. Thank you.
So what do you expect now from the government?
We are wanting to put pressure on the government to reconsider their selfish, bigoted, money-hungry ideas and beliefs.
Thank you.
Treaty now!
Hello, my name is Jean Gonzalo. I want to talk to you about having peace within Australia. See, Australia is such a multicultural country these days, and people need to understand that it's something that it should always be into consideration, whether it be your religion, your race, your culture, whatever it is. It doesn't matter. It needs to have an equalism of having a good community and having peace within the country. See, a lot of the times, bullying is one of those things that just gets in the way, and those are the struggles, and the main key factors, and it needs to stop. So please, have peace with one another.
Amazing. You're welcome back to the program, viewers. And in case you're just tuning in, this program is all about our community. The name of the program is Our Community Lives. Our Community Lives is all about events, places, people, culture, and everything happening in and out of our community. And today, the package has been so wonderful. Until I see you next week, I want you to remain peaceful. Say no to sexual harassment. Say no to terrorism. Say no to human trafficking. Say no to lawlessness. And be peaceful. My name is Adeniyi Ekine. Bye-bye.